I'm Tanya Eiserer. I'm an investigative reporter here at Channel 8, and I'm joined by Mark Smith, one of our investigative producers. We've been up here covering what we've called the Onalaska trial. This is the trial of Deborah Mercer Irwin. She is the owner of an aircraft trust company who is accused of putting planes into the hands of drug smugglers, and she's also accused in a Ponzi scheme connected to her other company, Wright Brothers Aircraft Title. In many ways, Mark, this is a historic trial. We've never seen an aircraft trust company owner put on trial for these sorts of allegations. And if she's convicted, it's going to send a message to that industry. But today, Deborah Mercer Irwin took the stand. It was not unexpected. Her attorney had said yesterday that she was going to testify. Mark, what did you think of her testimony?
Well, it was real interesting. She started out by saying that she had met with federal agents 3 times. Initially when she was first arrested, and gave a lengthy statement that was recorded that she has now entered into evidence, and then 2 other times where she had proffer agreements. But the surprising thing is in those 3 periods where she met with the agents, she said she denied doing any crimes.
Today she said she had no knowledge of this Ponzi scheme. She said that this spreadsheet that prosecutors have entered into evidence, that was all Machado, and that she just really didn't know anything. But her name is on many of these escrow agreements where these funds were being put into her account, and it was an account she controlled.
Yeah, the escrow agreements were such that the money was only to be paid back to the investor, and yet in this ledger that they had, and from a forensic accounting of it, all kinds of money went to various individuals. But she said today on the stand, I didn't have a clear understanding of the ledger that he was providing me. It was his accounting. And then she was asked about the whole thing, and she said the lender would give him, Machado, that ability to dictate, quote unquote, to dictate where that money went, when in fact she, as the escrow company, had signed agreement with it. She had control of the escrow money, and she was the one sending out this money to individuals, as far as I could tell, that weren't on the agreement.
Related to these allegations that planes ended up in the hands of drug traffickers, the agents had testified that she acknowledged that she knew that as many as 10 of her planes had ended up being caught with drugs. But then she said today if she'd known that somebody was carrying drugs on the plane, she would have moved to deregister. She would have never willingly put a plane in the hands of a narco trafficker. I mean, she said she'd done everything she could, right? I mean, that was my sense of it.
Well, it was. Her testimony today was that she went through a thing called OFAC, which has lists of terrorists and major drug kingpins. Yet, we've heard prior testimony that the OFAC list really only has kingpins, really big name drug traffickers. To do a real background check, you'd want to do something else. And in fact, one of the guys that she testified at length today, Google search would have showed that he was a convicted drug smuggler with the Sinaloa cartel.
Well, and we also heard from one of her former employees yesterday who acknowledged that she didn't even know how to check out if a passport was real.
Well, exactly, and I just wanted to add, she talked about this ledger, 23-page ledger that's been an integral part of this whole trial. We're talking something that had almost $500 million flowing through it, and she said it was sent to me on occasion by Machado. It was Machado's accounting of his transactions, and she was then wiring money when he asked and where he asked and to he asked at his control. A lot of questions on that.
Well, and as her attorney has said more than once to us, it'll be up to the jury to decide what they think of her statements.